Hello there. So here we are with issue 35, and let's do a quick run through. So we're going to talk about the Venator class Star Destroyer, and this would have been seen heavily during the Clone Wars. We're going to talk about the Patranaki Arena, which would have been in a Clack of the Tones, Attack of the Clones. And then we'll talk about docking facilities. So that's important, and specifically this docking ring. And go through all that fun stuff. And now we are on to our parts. So let's go ahead and get our parts out here. So we've got some ribbage. So we got part of a rib here. We got some more framework. Part of the lower part, and this is where the landing gear goes. And then we've got this part here. This goes up towards the front, I believe. We've got two square pieces, two of those pieces, and then, of course, like I said, the framework. So we are only going to be putting these parts together here. So we're going to use those and those. We'll be using all four of those. And should be fairly straightforward. So first we need BF1, best friend 1. That goes like this, I believe. Yeah. And we're going to attach we will attach the rib to it. So I get our screws over here. All right. So I haven't had a chance to ask. Well, I've had plenty of chances, but I haven't done it. How was everybody's Christmas? That's what I want to know. Everybody have a nice time with their limited family? How many of you guys actually limited the amount of family that you spent time with? You know, this whole COVID thing and blah-de-dee blah blah. All right. I'm guessing we're attaching the rib, so that way we can attach maybe the bottom piece here as well. Let's go ahead and get these opened up. So I got myself a new camera, and I need to figure out how I'm going to set it up. But what I thought might be beneficial, what I got was I got a little action camera, little GoPro type thing. And what I thought was I could have it at a different angle, and so that maybe I could, depending on what I'm working on, might be able to have multiple angles. And so I'll play around with that and do some test runs and see how things come out and that kind of stuff. So be on the lookout for that at some point. We'll have to be working on something a lot more interesting than just this framework, I think, before I break that out. There's one. I'm guessing then we put that piece on. So I don't know how many of you guys out there have kids and how many of those kids are teenagers, but my daughter is getting of the age when she is needing to get a car. She turns 16 in a few months, and so she needs a car. So that's something that's going to be fun and exciting to get. All right, now we put BF2. Don't rightly know which. I think it goes like this. No, it doesn't. It goes like this, maybe? No? That's supposed to be BF2, and it, yeah. Oh, we got it flipped over? No. Oh, that ain't right. I'm confused, boys and girls. This is BF2. Yeah, BF2. What's this one? This is BF3. Yeah, BF2. I don't get it. It does go like this. It's the only option, seriously. So what you cannot see is the fact that I'm looking at the book, and the although the pictures are great, for whatever reason, just the angle of these pieces, I mean, you can see them, and the angle and the way the pictures are, I could not tell what direction that thing was going. So that was messing me up. So the crazy thing is, usually I fast forward these things, but I don't know if I'm going to do that this time. What we got one of these here. No, that ain't right, is it? It's insinuating that we would have a bunch of these, as if I had received some in a previous. Oh, I did. There we go. I've got my crap together, I swear to God. Just put that in there loosely. So what you can't see, another thing that you can't see, off to the side, and if I had the other camera going, I could show you, but then I'd have to move this camera and blah, 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 and that's just, could be a problem. But what you can't see is my little packets of screws and all the other stuff just sitting over there on the side. And some of these I would have gotten in a couple of issues ago, and I would have lost track of when I needed them, where I needed them, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. Whether or not I even had them, because the screws and these little brackets are something easily forgotten about, I think. I feel like. Alright, there's that. And then let's crack these bad boys open. I think my table's got a little bit of a lean going that way. Which is good because I don't have to worry about too much stuff rolling off into my lap. And when you're talking about stuff like, knives and screwdrivers and that kind of thing, this blade must be getting dull. It's not really, I don't feel like it cut through that as easily as it should have. All right, and then this one is going to get the best part is just how much you can see with my arms in the road. Hence the idea for another angle. The camera with another angle. Plus, I'm just curious what the quality is like with those things. I think we're going to have just enough screws to put this whole thing together. And those were all pre-opened and sitting in my little tray there prior to me even doing this. So that means I didn't have to break into my little jar of screws, wherever that is. I've got a little jar. There's some silver ones. Maybe I used them all, but I've got that packet and that packet and a bunch of other packets, and yeah, it's pretty obnoxious. Let's say we can move that out of the road. Let's move this where I can get to it a little easier. That went in a lot easier. We'll just snug these all down. Voila! That is everything. Now, if I speed this whole thing up, this would be like a world record for how fast one of my videos go. I say world record. It'd be a Gary record. A Loco 4-pack record. Alright. So there are all the pieces from this issue. So the completed assembly should look like this. Do not try to join to the rest of the framework yet. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to put together all this framework, and then we're going to be putting the boarding ramp on. That'll be something cool. So here's what we're going to be getting in next time. So we're going to get this piece, some little greeblies, some little extra pieces there, and these little details there. And then, of course, the framework. I'm guessing we'll be putting the framework together next time. We'll see, though. But there's what we got. These pieces will go into my little drawer. One of these times coming up, what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start taking some of these pieces here, and I'm going to go ahead and start masking them, and I'll do some a little bit at a time, and I'm going to get them masked and mask them like this. Oh wait, I have to mask them like this because of the fact I'm painting the bottom, not the top. So I got to get them masked really well and all that kind of stuff. We'll try to roll those over as best we can. I've got this other tape here which I may end up using, and then just use the painter's tape for the edges. But I'm going to mask these up and start painting these. And I'm just going to paint them in the house because that's about the only option I have at the moment. I dilly-dallied a bit too long with the weather, and now it's colder than crap out there. And it would not behoove me to paint outside. So, matter of fact, let's go ahead and do this one up, and I will paint this off camera, and then we'll come back and see what it looks like. Or maybe I'll show you in the next one, what have you. That way this one can end. There we go. It's all masked up, ready to go. The hard part is some of these pieces have, high points and low points and all that kind of stuff, and you need to get around those. Otherwise, the bleed through will be obnoxious, and we want to avoid that as best we can. So the important part will be not just the painting. I mean, obviously the painting, but you guys are going to probably want to see how well the mask job did and whether or not I have any paint on this side. What I'll probably do, and by probably I mean I will do it, is just throw some tape over here just to be careful, because I can get more painter's tape, no problem. And we'll give this a quick paint and see how it goes. Okay, we're back, and as you can see, I have it painted. It's black now. I didn't paint it like super great, like these aren't painted, whatever, but I think that's enough that it shouldn't be a problem. Maybe should have got a little bit closer around the edges there, but we'll see. I doubt it's going to be that big of a deal. I also didn't get super close to there. It was just too quick. Well, a few quick passes. I mean, it was really quick. One of the things I'll be concerned with is whether or not these can fit in these holes. So these are supposed to fit in these holes here. And they fit still. I know some of them are harder than others. But one of the things you can do to check to see if you had any paint bleed and make sure that you did a good job masking, just look at your masking tape. And if all the lines look crisp, then you're good to go. And the ones that I was concerned about were on these edges, where there's raised edges, and over here was a bit. This one was perfect. But there's no bleedage. My little hole here is black on the inside, but that's fine because, it's probably supposed to be, you know. There's a little bit on some of the edges, which is fine as well. We'll see how that comes out when I put them together, if any of that kind of sticks out. But if it does, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal because there's people that, paint like the edges like that anyway. So I think that will be fine, and I'll be able to just kind of knock out some of those and get those taken care of, because at some point we'll start attaching these to the framework, and I want to have them prepped and ready to go when we do that. So, all right, well, that is the end of this issue. Again, this was issue 35. We're going to do issue 36 next time, and we got a couple pieces of framework for that, and we'll see what happens in that issue. So, thanks everybody for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. You got something out of it. You made fun of me, whatever the case may be. So I appreciate you all showing up to watch, and take care. May the force be with you always.